All right. So we're having our world famous members night, and we're gonna each of us is going to share. We can share about five, six, seven images. We're gonna start. I just lost my list. Who did I say was first? I think it was Donald. And you're gonna share your screen, Donald, and you're muted. And you can tell us things like how you got the photo, tell us where it was taken, tell us your process, anything you want to tell us that you think would be interesting.
Okay. Let's share this. All right. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is, I'm going to go real fast through this. Um, so hang on. Spend about 5 or 10 seconds on each one. The pages of my new book. That's the cover, front and back. And sorry again. Sorry.
We don't want to get sick here.
Yeah, you may be in a second. There's the title page. That's another mirrored quad image, colored image from San Francisco. Hope you can see these okay. That's big enough. As big as I can get them.
Yeah, looks good.
Negative and a guy walking across the cable car tracks. Shadows and Coit Tower and the street light. Water drops. Close-up flowers and oxalis. Oop. This is an old shot of a hang glider, or what do you call those? Afternoon light at Roy's Redwoods, and shot of San Francisco in the morning, and from behind the bridge. Oop. Really fun going through this. These are small. These are kind of hard. I don't know if you can see these too well, but the printing quality is pretty good. So I think the book is big enough. Scenes around the bay. I like birds. Dramatic mornings. And cable cars and North Beach in the morning. And I was getting very artsy fartsy on this one over here. And this is Marco, a local character in North Beach. Squigglies of a sailboat mast and a close-up of veins in a plant.
So
And there's a dance and a boy running after his dad. There's the old boat in China Camp workshop. China Camp. More China Camp. I spent a lot of time out at China Camp. I was pretty lucky. And more China Camp on the right. And Inverness and water shots. That's Devil's Creek as it goes under Sir Francis Drake Boulevard. And water shots, Lagunitas Creek and the others. There's the jazz combo at the across from the Conservatory of Flowers in San Francisco. And that's inside the Conservatory of the Pond. Oop. Oop. There we go. There's the Lagunitas Creek playing a record. And the swoosh of birds.
didn't that one win an award?
Yeah, that won me $100 at the Marin County Fair.
Which one?
The horse and the birds. That's Elephant Hill in the back. That's taken from Drake Boulevard. Mount Tamalpais and the bay. More birds. This is coming home with the prize. And Mount Tamalpais scenes. Lots of fog and light. Golden Gate Park and more Marin County, Sonoma Coast, Nicasio. Um, so you can see where I've been the last 15 years. And pretty lucky to be been doing this. San Francisco architecture, just amazing. Just inside a tunnel at Point Richmond, and the moon behind Transamerica Tower. Up, come back here. Point Reyes, Mount Tam. That's Point Reyes shot is the went out there with Jan Bell in December when he was out here. We got together and went out there. Had a good time. Mount Tamalpais, there's wet madrone trees, and here's my cats. Yeah, I'm a professional. And I did talk about my early years. It's a silly story. Breaking my parents' camera and all that. So, I met Ansel Adams at the age of 16 twice. He's very generous to me. So I have a story about that. And these are early photos I took when I was about 16. Cannery Row in the cemetery in Pacific Grove, where I grew up. And that's a more recent shot, probably about 20 years old, at Point Lobos. When I was a kid, I spent a lot of time at Point Lobos and down towards Big Sur. And that's the cover again. And that's it. Did I go over my 5 minutes? I'm so sorry if I did. I probably did.
You were brave to go first, so you get a little.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Nicely done.
Let's see. How have I stopped sharing there?
Oh, yeah. We're supposed to clap or something.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Oh,
I have Donald's book and it is really beautiful.
Oh,
It's-
thank you.
it's
Thank you very much.
Tell us, Donald, how do we get your book?
Oh, I'm out of stock. I sold out. I
Yeah,
gave
it
some
is.
away,
Yeah.
gave some away and sold the rest. Started with 15, so I had another 10 coming in to be here on the 9th. So I'll let everybody know. And it's $60, but I send it out for free, priority mail, which, helps a little bit. So,
It's a nice local memory.
yeah, it is. So,
Beautiful, beautiful photos. They're just
Thank you.
stunning.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing so many with us. That was really
yeah, it's online. You can flip through it online also. If you're not, I couldn't afford a $60 book, so I understand. So, yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Bonnie, it's your turn. Do you want to, did you send me images or are you sharing?
I sent you through Dropbox. And I texted you. You said you received
I
it?
got it. Yeah, I have it.
Okay.
Bear with me. I'm trying to do this in the best.
Hopefully you got them.
I did. I'm just trying to make it so you can't see my messy screen.
If you need me to share, I could do that. But anyway.
I have it. Let's see. Let's get this set up. All right, Bonnie.
Okay. So, you could probably tell from my background that I like birds. I started getting into birds many years ago, but during COVID and when I was stuck at home, I really started aiming a camera toward the birds in my neighborhood. the birds in the background behind me in this my Zoom photo are in a pond that's in a wetland right near my house. So I started learning how to take photographs of birds and have been focusing on marin birds. But in January, I went on a birding trip for the first time out of the U.S. and I went to Belize and Guatemala. So this woodpecker was different from anything I'd ever seen before in a place I'd never been before, and I thought it was rather interesting looking. And so this is from Belize, and so I'm branching out to do some nature photography outside of California, and thought I'd share this image just because it was different, something I'd never seen before. So
You look serious. I'm ready to go. I got my 1 foot ready and
yeah,
Are you ready for the next image?
yes. Yeah. And here's another bird. This one was all the way up in Santa Rosa, this great egret. I went to there's a rookery up there, and the great egrets were building their nests. Um, so this was a couple months ago, and I've been back since, and now they have their chicks. Or the last when I went last, I did photograph some chicks, but this was just one of the great egrets with the nesting material sitting on the nest and building it. And so this is the image of a pretty typical great egret building a nest. Um, so I'm branching out. I haven't been doing much traveling for a long time, and I just returned from Europe. So this is a completely different kind of picture. This one was in Toledo, Spain. This I found to be a fascinating building because it used to be a Jewish temple.
I'm not seeing any pictures except for you and the egrets. Is there some other screen I should be clicking on?
Uh, Zoom has this new feature where it's like a tab. Look at the top. You should see Bonnie's name.
You didn't see the woodpecker or the great egret. Okay.
Yeah, there's like a tab now. They've made this change on Zoom, and there's a tab. It might say
Uh, would it be no? Oh, Stephanie Mohan's screen. Got it.
There you go. Good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Here, I'll let you see a sneak peek of her beautiful woodpecker.
Nice.
That's the egret. And here is, yeah. So this was it. This was formerly a Jewish temple, and now it is a Christian church. And so this was something that I photographed in May during my trip. And I'm kind of going back. I've been doing more monochrome. I started when I was, a teenager with a dark room, and learned about photography as a kid, as a 16-year-old, in black and white. And so I've been more recently experimenting more with converting color to monochrome. And so I'm branching out with my photography away from just birds and color and doing monochrome. So I thought I'd share some images that are a little different for me because I know I've shared bird pictures before. I'm also doing more people pictures. This was in Paris. This little guy was very pleased to be helping out in a patisserie, and he sold me a croissant. And I just thought that was just a charming little piece of life in Paris. And again, experimenting with black and white. And so that's a recent photograph. Also, another thing that I've been experimenting with is taking pictures of flowers. This one was one that I thought was more dramatic with the black background. I'm experimenting with just getting good detail and how to show my photographs off to their best advantage. And I thought this was more interesting with black background. So that's a poppy. Oh, this is from Guatemala. I went to Tikal, where I happened to be there when there was a group of Mayan families that were celebrating some sort of I'm not sure what they were celebrating, but this is sacred ground for the Mayans, and apparently they come back for whether it's birthdays or funerals or the religious holidays or whatever, they have their celebrations in Tikal. So it was pretty impressive to be in that sacred place and to see a ceremony going on and the whole family gathering. And so that was in January. I went to Guatemala, and it was kind of a side trip for my birding trip. So that's it. I think that was the last one I submitted.
All right. So next, next we have Joanne.
Okay.
I think you're sharing, right?
Yes. Hopefully this will work. Share. Oh, it's not, it says it's not turned on, so I'll send a
Oh,
request.
no, my fault. Let me, there we go.
Okay. All right. And here we go. Share. And then get into, hang on, slideshow. Okay. Does that look okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So normally I'm photographing marine mammals, either from land or from a boat, or birds, wildlife. And I wanted to challenge myself to do something that was not wildlife. And I wanted it to be out in Point Reyes National Seashore, which is like my favorite place to be these days for a lot of different reasons. And my favorite beach since I was 16 years old is Lehman Tour. So I thought, let's check out Lehman Tour, and I decided I would do Driftwood. Anyway, so I went out there in February, and the first time I was out there, I was just had my iPhone, so I worked with that. And the nice thing is, well, it's kind of a sad thing, but a nice thing is that over the years, the last few years, Lehman Tour changes drastically because the storm surges and the winds and tides are a lot stronger. The dunes are being reshaped constantly, etc. So the driftwood doesn't stay. So I know that every time I go out there, there's going to be a new set. And I thought that would be fun to work with. So anyway, here's what this is just the beginning of this project. So it's a work in progress, but here's what I've gotten. So this is one image, and this is actually not black and white. There's a little bit of color in here, and I left it in there because I liked it. Just a close-up of a very interesting, I was seeing sort of faces and eyes and things in here, so I'm experimenting with getting in really close. Here's another one, very similar.
Oh, I definitely could see a couple of different faces.
Yeah. And, and I also, in the editing with Lightroom, I was experimenting with texture and how you can actually smooth things out or make them rougher. So I've been playing around with that to take from the original, how to manipulate it so that it gives me another dimension, so to speak, to these things. And then this one I love. This is actually was shot in color, but I changed it to black and white. It just makes me think of kind of the mouth of a beast or, whatever. But I like that.
Looks like a big mouth.
Yeah. And then this was just getting in close again with color. and looking at design and texture and the little bits of whatever algae or whatever plants were growing there. So that was kind of fun. And then this was actually that same log that was like the mouth. This is, but in color and just one section of it. It was a beautiful piece of wood. Really, really nice. And then the same thing again, just a close up. And I left the sand on there. I kind of like the sand being in there. And I haven't decided if this image should be horizontal or should flip it to vertical. I'm still going back and forth on that. And then this was what really got me started, because on that same log on one side, I found this at a very close up, and it just looked like a painting to me. I couldn't believe it was just on this log. So this was my real inspiration. And this is the last image. So like I said, it's a work in progress, and we'll see what I can come up with. I know a lot of people have shot driftwood, but I'm just trying to see what I can make of it.
I thought your second image looked like a painting as well.
Really? Yeah. That was,
Uh,
oh, yeah, this one.
yeah, that reminded me of a painting.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Anyway, thank you for letting me share.
Yay.
Really great.
Looks like a grizzly bear.
I know there's a lot of things I'm seeing in here, and I'm thinking there's going to be so much more. It'll just take time and, working with this over time. And of course, every time I get to go out to Lehman Tour, I'm in heaven. So, regardless. And I'm also shooting birds and things while I'm out there, but, looking for the driftwood.
My iPhone group just did a series of taking photographs with the iPhone of something that would look like a face, and it's called Pareidalia, Pareidalia. And there's a local guy named Jerry Downs that is very famous for doing that. So you could check it out.
Well, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, I'll stop sharing, and thank you, everybody, for letting me show these. And it made me get into it and edit it, knowing we were going to have the meeting tonight, and that was a good incentive.
All right, Martha, you're up. Let's see.
Areia.
Say, Martha, I love your second image. Okay, there we go. Oops, sorry. Am I sharing? I'm not sharing. Portion of screen. There we go.
Okay, this was 16th and Mission area. There are a lot of wall murals painted by the people. I was really gobsmacked by this one, and this part down here, somebody's put a Virgin Mary surrounded by all kinds of beings, pasted that onto the mirror of a bus that's approaching. I liked all this stuff. And here's this guy in a zoot suit right here. Bunch of details. Anyway, 24th and Mission, this one.
I love this one.
Mm-hmm. So, County Fair. This year's theme, insects, bugs. They call it bugs. It's insects. So I put this together. It's called Be a Man.
And I love this.
Fairfax Parade, the Capoeira group. These guys blew me away. The music, their moves. And so I got this shot, and I said, whoa, yeah, I got the shadows, these dancing shadows. And this cat who's not on the ground, he's not on the earth.
Did he land on his back?
No, the I have a series of these, but these guys, they danced on their heads, they walked on their hands. They had one, two, three people all doing these kicking and ducking and dancing moves. Pretty amazing stuff. They've got a studio over in Red Hill, I think it is, for anybody who feels like getting some exercise.
No, thank you.
Ah, elephant, bull elephant seal, raising up his head. I also spend a lot of time out at Point Reyes, various different beaches, and I loved the way the light hit this guy and all the textures.
Mhm.
This is one of my composites. It's called Javits Center Coyote. It's in New York, and at a B&H event in the Javits Center. B&H filled all 4 floors. There are a lot of characters, and they have a what they call a green area up on the 4th floor. And yeah, that's green. Okay, we're spoiled. We live here. But it just occurred to me, my friends, the coyotes, what would they think about that? So I put it together.
Mm.
These days, I live in Inverness. And in the wintertime, we get some pretty spectacular sunrises
No kidding.
on Tumulus Bay. So what I do, I go out on the back deck right around dawn. If the sky is pink, I look to my left. If the sky is pink, I grab my gear and run. I'm about 100 yards above the bay. And then I just stand there and shoot. And this is what I got one time. Stephanie, I think I'd like to put this in the show if I can get it printed up.
Awesome. Good idea. She'd also do the bead. It's amazing.
Well, I got that printed, but I turned it into the fair, so I'd have to get it printed again.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah, I like that little bee.
Yeah, I do.
Also, that's my husband. So
Oh.
I like it.
Great. Love
Yeah.
it. Okay.
I like the fog bank.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So our next presenter is Alan.
Oh, gee. Okay,
Don't
let's
find
see.
that button.
Let me get this up here, and we're gonna go with
Oh, I'm going to stop sharing. Sorry.
we'll ignore that. You guys can hear me?
Mhm.
Okay, we'll just go to my first image. Basically over the, whoops, let me do it a different way. Get this to here, make it prettier. And there we go. Okay, so the last couple of years I've been working uh, in and around and through Polaroid. Um, a lot of I've got 5 images here. All of them are similar in techniques, though getting to the final print rag image is a little journey. So I'm doing anything. I'm using anything from an SX70 camera, original, or set up for the new type film. Um, I can use, 120 film camera. I can use a digital camera. I have a Leica I use. In fact, this particular shot here is done with a Leica. But what I've done, then I also use what's called the Polaroid Lab, if you guys aren't used to that. And that helps me with my uh, uncreations, my experimental part of emulsion decay, which you're seeing this bubbling kind of effect, and that's done through some water techniques that I do. So there's quite a few, just to get to this little image here, simple image. It's taken quite a process, even going through Photoshop, maybe even maybe even rephotographing the Polaroid image and dodging and burning because my final thing is a print. So that's what I'm looking for. And then a lot of these Polaroids, they keep continuing getting damaged because I've already worked them, with what they call emulsion decay. Next one. Oh, and let me back up slightly. Tell me where this is.
The
I
sun.
know, Nicasio.
Donald, you can't say anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
Hey,
out
I
in
won't say
Nicasio
that
way. It's
I
out
won't
in
say that you
Nicasio
stole
way.
it from me either.
Yeah. So, okay. So now we've got a couple images that I've put together. The background is an image that's uh, Dillon Beach, which is kind of like one of my, if you know Rene Magritte as an artist, he uses a lot of backgrounds uh, repeatedly, and those have meaning in themselves. I'm not going to tell you mine, but anyway, I've worked that digital image, and this image of this hammerhead shark is actually a Polaroid image that I took at a Polacon in San Francisco, what, 2 months ago now, of a small sculpture above me. And so I married those images into again, through the lab and some emulsion playing, etc., to come up with this little baby. And this one's called Blowing Bubbles or something like that. Anybody can comment also as we go. So, I've been trying to really hone my technique. And for a while, I've done what every other, I'll put a quote around the word photographic artist does when they do emulsion decay. They throw it in some water or other chemicals and just let it rip. I did that to an extent just with simple water, but my water depths were what was possibly changing how the emulsion would react. And it's kind of funny, but I've had a lot of good result in where the emulsion wanted to help me. You heard that. You heard that. I'm an animist, so what can I say? So anyway, I did this four up of a creek shot that's by my house up here in Novato, and worked on this is one of my earlier trials of trying to get each one of these Polaroids to react the same way, and that's real hard to do. And again, most people that do this kind of stuff, they go overboard, and you don't even know that there's a plant in front of you. And I go the other way. I'm an abstract expressionist, or whatever you want to call it, along those lines. Um, but I'm just trying to draw you slightly into another realm. And this will draw you into definitely another realm. It's that same beach. Okay, I love that shot. This is something I just did the other day. I went out and I saw these two guys flying. They're just called, heading north. They're going north, man. So that's just my newest. And
They
so
look
yes, I
like
play.
flying rugs.
Pardon?
They look like flying rugs.
Carpets. Yes, they are. And then the last one for the evening. This is actually an image. I was in a real narrow hallway, and a woman opened a door to her hair salon, and these roses were all sticking out of the ceiling. There's some kind of styrofoam or something stealing. So I snapped this quick shot, and here we are, again with emulsion decay. And I've learned that at least for what I'm trying to do with my work, is the least emulsion decay. And that seems to be the hardest to do because most of us want to kind of keep going. And you know how it is when you try to teach a young artist kid, like, no, don't do another thing, put that pen down. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I am. So this is my work, and this is what and I do other Polaroid type stuff. I do traditional stuff. I can do some street stuff. I'll do some double exposures. I do some black and white transparencies that are pretty cool. If you guys look at my website, you'll see some different work. And there we are.
Great
Cheers.
stuff, Alan. Great
Thank
stuff.
you.
Okay, it's Mo's turn, and I'm going to share for Mo. Oh, you have to stop sharing. I guess I can.
Oh, thank you. Except it's not wanting to here. That's not going to do it.
Can you see Mo's work, the beautiful dog?
There we go. I'm going up here. Nope, that's not doing it.
I think you're okay, Ellen. I think I bypassed you.
Okay.
So thank you, Stephanie, for helping me out with this. This is the first
That's
time I've shown any work that I've done publicly. And all the images are taken with an iPhone 8 with very little editing, maybe a cropping and zooming in a little bit. This is Parker, and his eyes were haunting to me, and I really would have liked to have taken the background out and maybe darkened it to emphasize his blackness and the eyes more. But I didn't know how to go about doing that. So this is the raw footage of it, the raw photo of it. I didn't have to do anything with this. This was like laid out for in front of me.
Yeah.
I just thought
Yeah.
the irony of it, the classical contemplating the modern, so to speak, in front of the
Oh
Pelican
my God.
of Honor.
Are
I
they
did
laying
probably
out for
crop
you?
this a little bit, I think.
Are those yoga mats?
What? No, what's that?
Are those yoga mats?
No, this is metallic, and I don't know exactly what the material is that's covering the body, but it's not yoga mats, no.
Oh.
This is just a comment on when gasoline was a little over $6 a gallon, and I just, I just was taken by $125 for to fill up. So this is taken at Laguna Beach, so I just decided to take that shot. This is in Point Reyes, right south of Point Reyes, and sometimes when I take a photograph of someone, I like to take it from behind, and I don't know if that's considered a portrait or not. But when I looked at this later, it had a little bit of an Andrew Wyeth quality to it, which I kind of liked, so I wanted to include it. I like the interplay of sky and water. I have a lot of photos of sunsets that I didn't, submit here. This is taken about 10:30 in the morning at a town called Ioannina in northwest Greece. And I just like the gradations of gray. I think gray is one of my favorite colors because it has so many different hues. And I just, captured this on a morning walk. This was taken at Pismo Beach about at sunset, and I liked how the feeling of enclosure with a very low ceiling and the water almost next to it. And as it turns out, there's a lot of texture in this photograph as well. So that was an extra. That was sort of a bonus. I wasn't thinking about that when I took the photo. I was thinking more about the mood of being enclosed by the sky. This is at a wonderful sculpture garden in the Louis Armstrong Park in New Orleans. And I saw this young girl in the shadow of the sculpture of the spider. And I asked her just to stay still for a moment. I asked her parents, of course, if this would be okay if I took her photograph, and they were very happy about that, of me wanting to do that. And she was very cooperative. She was just so I didn't know if lightening it or would have seeing her face or would have made a difference, but I just liked the shadows and the menace of the spider and this young innocent uh, young child beneath it. But then I thought more of it as being a canopy rather than something menacing.
Awesome.
Is that it? I think that might be
All right. Thanks. I'm glad we broke you in.
it. Thank you, Stefan. Appreciate it. And thank you, Sandy, also for encouraging me to do it.
Good.
Let me ask, is Michael Loeb here?
Yeah,
Am I saying your last name right?
I'm sorry.
How do you say your last name?
Lobe,
Oh, okay.
like as an earlobe or all that.
Got it.
I sent you a text and you acted on it. How about that? So I should just talk about all this stuff.
Tell us your process or tell us anything you want to tell us about this.
Oh, I don't know. That was most of these are going to be from the vicinity, same vicinity. This is across the street. We're actually 30 feet from our hotel last week in Kihei on Maui, and that was at night. And
Colors are beautiful.
the colors, I know that it didn't look like that out of the camera, but when I transferred it, it came out amazing. So I'll stick with this one. And that's just the way it looks like. Well, back then it was, it's today's even lighter, but it was just a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago maybe, and that's in Kihei. So there you go. And are there any others, or is there just this
Yeah.
one?
Oh, yeah. Feel free to, you can always tell me to next slide.
Oh, okay. This is the same beach. I did all different times of the day, different days, and this is right in front of our hotel too. And I like the I like having a few people in it just to show, what's going on. And the sky did this amazing thing, which it does around here too, but not like there. I've never seen it so amazing. So I like the rays coming down. So so I took the picture and I entered it here. What do you know? So we can go next. Um, this turtle was not that color, but I like I don't know why that happens, but I like this color even better. And so this was just there's a certain beach where they rest at this beach, and as a sign that says "Don't disturb the turtles while they're sleeping." And I guess he's asleep. It's hard to tell what he's doing, but I have other ones wider so you can see the whole ocean. But I just entered that one because he's quite the creature, like one of the oldest mammals on the planet, and um, they uh, they go slow, but they get the job done. I know somebody who was following the turtles in the ocean, and they kept following them because they're so mesmerizing that they got out way so far that the current wouldn't let them go back, and they were in the middle of the ocean, and they could have drowned. And some boat was going by and came to rescue this person, but he would be deceased because the waves always win, and that's how that works. And I will say this too is that I spoke to an emergency room nurse, and she says I asked her what's going on in the emergency room, and in Kihei, and she says, well, every case pretty much has the same thing on it and while they're in the emergency room, and that is TBW. And I said, okay, what's TBW stand for? And it's tossed by waves. So anybody here is going to Hawaii, just remember you don't want to be in the emergency room and tossed by waves because they sneak up and they have a powerful current. But when you on the right side of them, it's an amazing experience. So we can go next. This is a different day. Same. Some of these are down further down. I went in the opposite near the Wailea in that area, and I took some there too. So, and this is I think the beach that we went to the most because the water was so warm and the currents weren't so intense, and you could go out really far, and there's fish there and turtles and so. And I like the shot. It's just fun to look at. Maybe I should put it on my wall. And similar thing where in this one, of course, you see the rays, and I've never seen. I don't see sunsets like that around here. So Hawaii is a special place. I found that out. There's some energy in Hawaii that is like nowhere else I've been, and you can feel it. And it's like I don't know if anybody's been to a vortex, and there's feelings to vortexes too, but this is like one big vortex. The whole thing is just.
Spaceships and pyramids.
What's that?
Spaceships and pyramids, Michael.
They. What about pyramids?
Oh, I'm just looking at that picture and it's like I see a pyramid and
Oh, you're right. It looks like it could be a pyramid. Yes, that's Moses at the top of that pyramid with the Ten Commandments right up there. See, I hope you can see that. I couldn't zoom in that much, but he's there.
That's a gorgeous image.
And his motto in the Ten Commandments is "Thou shalt not take bad pictures." Okay, this one, his name is Dallas, I think, and he stays in this one cage in where we went to Kihei Beach Park, and he just when we got there, he just walked from the grass into the tube and just sat there, and I felt that he was posing because he knew how to, I take pictures, and so he gave me a good pose. So I appreciate that. I like my clients who actually cooperate. And which beach is this? We went to several beaches, so I can't remember. I'm sure if I look at the time date stamp, I could find out. But it's just nature's wonders.
I see a dinosaur eating the sun.
Dinosaur eating the sun. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Uh-huh. Well, dinosaurs are pretty amazing too. So this is all over Maui. Uh, dinosaurs. But yes, I see what you mean there. So yeah, that's what's cool about a lot of the world is that shapes form from things, and it's all something that would never happen ever again, quite like that, and probably never ever has been like that exactly. And every day, you never know which it's going to be. As Forrest Gump saying, when you go out to anywhere, a lot of places like this place, you never know what you're going to get. So that's Forrest Gump. Okay, next one. Do we have any others?
That was it. That was
Okay, so the sun sets on my shows, and there you go. And then after this, you want to go to the fish market, and they have like 5 different kinds of fish cooked all these different ways. It's pretty great. So there's my little travel guide. And next.
All right, our next presenter is Peg.
All righty.
Do I have your images? I do.
I sent you them, yeah.
I have 5. Is that correct?
There should be 6.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Not sure which one I'm missing. I'm afraid I only have 5. Bear with me. I can download it quickly. Sorry.
It's okay.
Oops, you can see my. Let me stop sharing for a moment. So you can't read all of it. Somebody do a dance or something.
kind you do in Fairfax? You
Sure.
should come to the festival for that kind of dancing. And I know somebody here who likes taking pictures of all the dancers. Who could that be? And he did the poster for the Fairfax Festival, and he loves movement and all kinds of action at the Fairfax Fair. Isn't that right, sir? And he also found an eyebrow right on Main on Bolinas Road. There's a place that will change your eyebrow color. So anyway,
For some reason, I'm not able to download all of them at the same time. For some reason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yay.
Let's see. Oh, here it is. I found the missing image. Okay. There it is. Okay. Got it. I'm going to share my screen. Okay.
All right. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So I tend to work with a lot of groups that are working on social justice issues. And another woman and I were asked to help document something that was going to take place at the end of the Chevron dock over by Richmond. And it was a bit of a protest that was put together by um, members of the Richmond community. And they were out there in their kayaks, and it was a little bit of a kind of a David and Goliath moment. And it was probably one of the most challenging uh, photography sessions I've ever had. Because it started before sunrise, so it was dark, and you're dealing with the movement of the water, and then the sun came up right behind the kayakers. So you've got massive amount of sun. This is only in the dark part. I've only got one picture here. But the challenges were the movement of the water, the wind, the light, and the fact that you're trying to create a story of something very small against something very large, and and get it to register what's going on. So anyway, this is just one picture from that event, and it was a challenging day. Um, all right, this was something that happened about a week and a half ago. It was a sort of a day-long event in the East Bay, and this was at a stopping point on a long march that took the whole day. And I was trying to figure out a way of getting just a crowd shot, people sitting to feel, uh, to just read as human and just have some human interest in it. And I like the way it came out. It doesn't have any special significance, but I just like the way it came out. It, let's see. So this was in the Mission District. Um, let's see. This was about a week and a half ago, and it was right after the mess in Los Angeles with National Guard and immigration raids. And this was uh, this was a rally of about 5,000 people that came together in less than 24 hours to stand with what was going on in LA. And I just feel like this image reflects how the people who live in the Mission District appreciated the people in the street and the interaction. And next. So on the same sort of subject, this was last weekend, and there was people who are supposed to show up for, who are in the, who have court dates, immigrants who have court dates, suddenly got a text on Friday. I don't know, people may have heard about this, but they suddenly got a text on Friday saying, you need to show up at this strange address on this small street in San Francisco on Saturday or Sunday. And so everybody was just really scared given what's going on right now. And their lawyers got together and said, urgently, everybody who can show up at this address, and let's try to make it impossible for ICE to show up here, because the fear was that all these people who were being directed to show up here would be detained and possibly deported. So, hundreds of people showed up, and they had this ongoing picket line going for 2 days. And their office never showed up. There was never able to open. And a lot of people there, there were many people wearing masks because everybody was afraid of the security situation. But anyway, just showing the humanity here. And that the next picture is a little odd, but so this isn't like a brilliant photo or anything, but it tells the story. This was the address they were given. And it's just like this obscure little office. And so during the weekend, the pro bono lawyers would show up, were there. There were a number of them. And the immigrants that showed up would hook up with a pro bono lawyer, and they would stand in front of that number. And they were all very scared. They had their families with them, a lot of them. And that would be proof that they had showed up to their appointment. But anyway, a strange weekend. And this is the kinetic sculpture race. It's an event that happens every year on Memorial Day weekend in Humboldt County. And this is it's like all of these homemade vehicles have to be people powered. And this is a woman who's pedaling in a coffin on a backcountry road. And that's it. Any questions?
Judy.
Nice work.
I love the cows in that last shot.
I couldn't hear that.
In the first photo I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The first photo that you took with the kayakers and the large container ship or oil tanker, where were you positioned when you took that shot?
The two photographers, me and this other woman, were each in a boat, each in different boats. They were what do you call them? Zodiacs.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's very dramatic, I thought. Great shot.
Thanks.
All right, Judy, you're up.
I only use the iPhone, and I recently am experimenting in a series of photographs. So this photograph was actually the end photograph. I used a app to create this image, and I liked the way it turned out. It's kind of artsy. Next. And this was our overblown first image. This is a lily blooming in a pot on my side table. So I was fascinated with the way the lily opens up. Next. And this was the original. And there's other, you could see at the lower left and the bottom that there's other lilies in the same vase. Next. And this one I tried to be artsy. I was fooling around with the Photos app and I was trying to adjust the color. So that's it.
Great. I love the comparisons. It's fun to see what things we did to it.
I love the original one.
All right, our next presenter is Alan. Alan, do you have your stuff? Can you share your screen?
Yeah, I can. Do I have permission to share?
I think we made it so that you can.
Okay.
Go ahead, try.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So I apologize in advance if some people have seen these photographs already. I kind of went to my go-to ones because I just wanted to join and participate. These are Thule elk out at Point Reyes, and what's interesting to me is something that you can't see. There's actually more Thule elk on the right side in the original photograph, and I cropped it. And so that's kind of a question that I'm always thinking about, what what do I really want to show with this picture? Like I could have shown more Thule elk, and maybe some people would find that more dramatic that there's so many. I thought that it was more dramatic to show uh, more of a close-up of this one looking our way, and then three that are too busy to look at me. And my photograph equipment, I have a Nikon. It's kind of on the old side. It's in the 3000 series. They still sell 3000s, but they don't sell mine anymore. And I have Nikon lenses and so forth. This is also out at Point Reyes, and this is at Drake's Beach. And I don't know what they do every year, but this is a few years ago. And I am not standing far away with a telephoto lens. I am about 8 or 10 feet at the most from these two seals. And there's a parking lot out there. And I wasn't violating anything. I wasn't going around any cones or anything. I think there were rangers and people talking right where I was standing. I don't remember doing anything out of the ordinary. So they were allowing people to get this close. And so I just thought, this made a really fun photograph. This is in Belize, and of course, there's no end to the sunset pictures there. What made this one stand out to me was this figure. He just looks prehistoric to me. He's just another tourist, but it's just the way that moment was caught his. It just to me it makes this different than a lot of just endless beautiful sunsets in Belize. There's no end to it. But I thought this just sort of caught a moment.
That's a nice picture.
Oh, thank you. And this is also in Belize. There's a butterfly refuge. So it's hard to explain, but you're kind of indoors, although it's open air, but the butterflies cannot just fly away. And what I sort of find a little bit interesting about this one is the shape of the leaves, and it's almost like they're insect-like. And so even though the butterfly is super dramatic in color, to me, it's not the most dramatic in terms of shape and activity and action. And so I just think it's an interesting, you know, not tension, but uh, comparison to something that we think of as just one of the most beautiful creatures, and these insect-ridden leaves. But in this moment, the leaves to me have a lot of action and sort of wing-like activity. And this is at a place called Abel Tasman. It's a park in the South Island of New Zealand. It sounds like I travel like crazy. I don't. It just so happens when I do travel, I manage to get some pictures that I want to hang on to. So my understanding, this is on the beach, and my understanding is that this is not pollution. I think they explained to me what this is at the time, but I think it's a natural phenomenon. There's something draining out, like the jungle is just 15 feet away out of the crop here, and there's something that's draining, and I don't know exactly what that natural substance is, but I don't think it's tar or pollution or something like that. This was a natural phenomenon. And this wasn't the only one. There were sort of different places along the beach where you could see these patterns emerging as something was, coming out of the jungle. And this is in also Belize, yeah. And so there's a little bit of a sleight of hand with this one, but I'm gonna give away the inside joke here in a second. But to me, this is really playing with that idea of seeing faces and seeing figures in natural things. And to me, this is like a sacred image or something like that. And what this image means to me is like what we bring to looking at an image. This is a very dramatic case, and others have showed things, but what this actually is a picture from a boat taken of the shoreline with the reflection in the water. And so this is the shoreline right here through the center of the picture. And so it's sort of like, the eye of the beholder. And I just think this is a really dramatic version of that. And so I think it's really
That really is fabulous.
fun to look at. Yeah. So if there's any comments or anything, I'm happy to stay on, or I can end my turn.
I like the reflections in that, Alan.
Yeah.
I think it would also be interesting just to take the non-reflection, flip it. We'll just take no, flip it instead of having the reflection,
Oh.
and just see how it reads and how it looks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'd have to crop and do some work on that, but that would be interesting. Yeah.
Personally, I think I like it the way he has it. It's more unique, I think, because I'd never really realized you could do that. I always, mirror things, but there's a natural mirror, so that's the uniqueness of that image. It's great.
And the water has to be perfect to get that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just luck, and
Yeah.
that's a big part of what I'm guessing that a lot of people on this call have done a lot of thinking about this. But to me, what photography brings up in my mind is uh, how much is making the effort to be somewhere, and then how much is the creativity once you're there. So yes, I got on a plane. I went all the way to uh, you know, Belize, and I got on a boat and I'm out there. And then what would somebody else on that same day who made that same effort, what photograph would they come up with? And to me, I may be the only one who thinks this, but to me, that's a core element of photography. How much of it is making the effort to be somewhere at the right time, at the right place, at the right time of day, and how much of it is your creativity once you're there? And then how much is the creativity once you're back in Photoshop or Lightroom doing post-processing? So it's pretty interesting. So thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Right.
All right, we have Paul. Are you ready? Can you share your screen, Paul?
Sure. Let me see if I can get this shared. Okay.
So you have to stop sharing.
Yeah, oh, it's gone. My sharing should have stopped.
Now it's done.
Yeah.
Zoom is requesting to bypass the system private window. Allow? Do you guys see anything?
Yeah, we see your thumbnails.
Oh, okay. Awesome. All right. Just a heads up, guys. I was not planning to do this, but you guys made me feel really guilty because you guys were all sharing and I wasn't going to. And I also happen to be sorting photos right now, so I thought maybe I would just go ahead and take advantage of this time. Um, so recently my work is is focusing on sort of capturing artisans. I travel a lot overseas to Taiwan and Japan, and I try to make connections with various artisans and try to document what they do. So this gentleman here, he makes those I don't know how to pronounce it, hanku blocks, those like little red blocks that you use to stamp official documents. I stopped by his booth several times over a period of like 10 years and would photograph him. And every time I came back, he wouldn't remember me. But then finally, the last time last year I came back, I brought him some printed photos. He didn't recognize me at first, and then all of a sudden realized what I was giving him, and was thrilled and was super happy with it. So that was one of the guys I met. This is from a glass lab in Tokyo where they finish glassware. And this is actually a non-drip soy sauce bottle that you can have on your tabletop. So I went there, watched them work. They had me do a little work as well. So that was sort of nice. This guy, he actually makes ceramic roof tiles, those sort of curved roof tiles you see on Asian homes. But he also allows you to go to the studio and make these like little um, ceramic statues. So you go there and you use the molds, and then he fires them for you and then sends them to you. I think they're to ward off evil spirits. So you place them in your house or on your rooftop somewhere.
Oh, tree tree.
I love the people's hands
Yeah.
in all the photos.
Mhm. And then this was from this past January. I went to a workshop where they carve stone. Um, and they carve like these little figures here. And they also carve like a large, you can't see it from this side, obviously, but these large sort of stone pieces um, that are then installed, I guess, in buildings. And then the last one I have, again, this is also from the Stone Studio. This guy's making bookends. And he finds granite, he shapes it, and then he cuts it, and then they become bookends, like you see here. And the crazy thing is, just like 2 weeks ago, I happened to be in Japantown, and I found these exact ones from the exact guy. So that was like a little coincidence there. And then I think the last one I have is, oh yeah, so this is from the Angkor Wat area, the Khmer people of the area. And I was on a sort of a village walk, and I came across a tent, and this guy was in there, and he just saw me. We sort of connected eyes, and he just struck this pose, and so I had to take it. Um, but it came out sort of nice, I think.
It's
Did you
wonderful.
have to pay them?
No, I was just on like a walk through the village.
And they
Um,
didn't mind.
no, I mean, you try to connect with them. It's always
Oh,
about
I
trying to,
know, I know,
yeah,
but it's such a touchy thing these days
it
because these
is.
are quite beautiful.
Yeah. No,
Wow.
you're totally right. It is very sort of touchy, and I get a little concerned about that, but I do try to connect with everyone. And yeah, that's it. I'll turn it over to the next person. How do I stop sharing though?
Oh, I keep forgetting I'm muted. I
Right.
love the light on these. They're just amazing.
Oh, hey, I was going to just suggest to people, if you guys haven't seen this, the program I'm using is called PureRef. Can you still see the screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this is like an amazing program. It's free for non-commercial use. But if you're ever looking to have something to organize your photos or to sequence them, this program is amazing. It's super fast. You can group stuff, you can
How do you
resize.
spell that?
Tureref.
Could you put it in the chat, the link?
Yeah, and I really suggest taking a look at it because one, it's free and it lets you organize stuff so quickly. It's so fast, way better than Lightroom, Photoshop, Preview, all that kind of stuff. Um, you can see how quickly you can just dive into various images, super fast. You can group them, rotate them, all kinds of stuff.
That
So,
looks better than Bridge.
oh yeah, definitely. I use it at work professionally all the time. So,
Really?
yeah, I would highly recommend trying it out because it's free and
Could you
it's
spell it one more time, please?
I'll put in the chat, but it's P-U-R-E-R-E-F.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if I could figure out how to get stop screen sharing, I would do it. I think I
There should be a red button near.
stop share. Let's see it. There you go.
All right, Virginia, did you want to share tonight?
I can. I didn't. I'm in my car at the library in the parking lot. So I just downloaded a few. I'm not sure quite how to do this, but I'll hit share and see if it works. Share
Let's see.
screen. Can you see me?
No.
Oh, okay. Is there anybody else who wants to go ahead of me? Well, how do I just hit? I'm not quite sure, Stephanie, how to share.
I could go if
You want to go, Sierra? And I'm not sure from the phone. I don't even know if you can do it from the phone. Does anyone know?
Well, there's a thing that says share, but it didn't work. So
Maybe your signal's not that good.
let me see. If I hit share, it says photo, image from file, document, like all different things. So if I say image from file, what happens? Select an image. Oh, okay. My files. All right. Well, for example, let's see if this works. Can you see that?
it's black for me.
It looks like it's trying.
Oh, there we go.
We got it.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So these are, I don't know how big they are to you, but anyway, this is taken about a year ago. And the thing that's interesting about this photo is in the next photo, I'll show you what I did with this this heron. So this heron was literally just sitting there basking in the sunset, and I had him all to myself. And I just kind of looked at the photo in Photoshop, and I was playing with AI, and I decided that the photo needed a boat. So, so there's no water in this scene, but that green kind of looked like water. So I put a boat in the scene, and that was very easy to do. I just kind of drew a box where I wanted the boat, and then I said, put a boat there. And I asked for a canoe, and it gave me several different variations, and this was one of the variations. So let's see if I can go back to the next picture. So then I took that, um, I took that let me see. I'm not sure how to do this. So how do I go now? I don't know what to do to go to the next picture. Um,
I've never done it on my phone, so I'm afraid I'm not much help. Anybody have any?
well, when I hit the back arrow, it's not really going back. Maybe let me try one more time. It's just, I have a couple more that'd be fun to show you, but I don't know how to bring it up.
What are you seeing on your screen? Are you seeing the image that you're showing us?
I see the picture and I don't know how to
The picture of
not,
the heron with the boat?
yeah, that's what I see, the heron with the boat.
So try clicking on the picture that you want us to see so that it's
Okay.
on your screen.
Well, when I click on the one I want to see, it's opening up, in the editing app.
Can you go out of this photo and do the same thing that you did to the new one?
Yeah, I'm trying to get out of the photo, and when I see a back button, and when I click the back button, it takes me to like the first screen on my phone. So this obviously not working the way I was hoping it would work. Um, okay, so yeah, I'm sorry. I don't stop share. No, I don't want to stop share. Well, let me stop share. Okay, now I'm back to you. I'm going to share again an image from a file. My files. Okay, so what I did was I took that picture and I'm playing around with different techniques. Nope, that's not the one. Here it is. I'm sorry. I know this must be really frustrating to you, so maybe you should just skip me and I'll be better prepared next time.
You'll definitely show next time. All right, let's go to William. I think I have your images. Is that right, William?
Yeah, you should.
Okay. All right, William, you're up.
So I like to shoot artists in the process of creation. So I've been doing some work with Marin Ballet, and this is a break. You can show the next slide. And these aren't in any particular order. So this is an instructor showing a move. And you can go to the next.
I only see you.
There should be a button that says Stephanie's up on top. Sierra, how did you find it?
I got it.
Good.
And this is a different angle, so I basically had permission to go really just about anywhere I wanted to go. So you can show, yeah. These are dancers getting ready. You can show the next slide.
Yeah, make that one.
So I mean, all of these are part of a larger body of work that we're working on. In fact, I'll be going back, probably next week to shoot some more. You can show the next slide. That's it, I think.
Awesome. I love this one so much.
Yeah, I have to say my only well, of course, I've got multiple criticisms. But one of them is that they look so much brighter on your screen. So I'm gonna have to look at that
In a good way or a bad way?
in a way that I'm not happy with.
Oh, really? I like it.
Hmm.
All right. I think I'm the final.
I like it.
Am I the final person? So
I'd like to go too, Stephanie, if I could.
oh, well, why don't you go next? I thought I would just end it. Are you ready, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Can you share your screen?
Let's see. So I want to read something. I found this quote recently, and I think probably most, if not all of us, can relate to this. and that is, what would change if we cared for a place, not because we owned it, but because we belonged to it? Um, and I think, I mean, some of us go to the same place over and over again, and it changes every day, and it's always different and always beautiful, and there's always something else. And I mean, I look at the pictures of people, and people are a place as well. And it's like we belong to place. It's like we see the beauty, um, like bugs do a flame. So this is up on Ridgecrest in town. I love just the reflections, kind of the abstract, the trees going into the pavement, and just, where's the pavement end, where the trees start. And if you look up in the middle of the top, there's a car there with little headlights. And I didn't even notice that at the time. And I'm even in that picture in terms of the reflection on the bottom. Um, and its place. It can be raining there in 100 degrees and clear 4 miles more on East Peak. This is down the road on a similar kind of day, just not, the fog's not quite as thick and it's breaking through there. Um, just, timeless mists. This is along the same road a little further down. This is Alpine Lake. This is moon setting at dawn. And I like it dark. There's actually a lot of detail in the dark parts of the photograph if you get up close to it. But, I could show it the picture lighter and it might show better, but that's more what it was like. It's like, I mean, it was more pitch black and just there's a certain quiet and a certain spirit of place. So I'm finding that I carry my brick less and less. How do I get rid of this? Um, so I like all kinds of photographs. I love doing people. Love doing nature. My photography is pretty much whatever I come across. This is Xander, who did the presentation on shooting stars the other night. He was a little bit younger in this. This was at a car show in Fairfax one day, but I just love the reflections on the roof and little purple.
Am I the only person who's not seeing this?
I'm not seeing it either, Sierra. I think you zoomed in somehow.
Oh,
Not sure what you did.
let's see.
I think
Okay,
log out.
I see what I have to do. I need to actually go to a different part. So now you've got that. So this is Xander, and he was too young to drive. And he was just totally thrilled being in this car and holding the steering wheel. But I love all the reflections and there's a lot going on. There's different, there's the mirror, there's the chrome, there's Xander, I love just reflections and whatnot. But as for my brick, tonight we went and sang at the Pacifics game. And why isn't this? Okay, there we go. There. Can you guys see the baseball game?
Yes.
Okay. So this is tonight. I haven't edited this at all, but I can't do this with a cell phone. So I bring the brick and
What's the brick? What do you mean
the
by
brick is just my big camera, the
Oh.
SLR or the big lens, as opposed to shooting with a cell phone.
That last one with the picture, could you go back? Back one? No.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find it.
Okay.
So I haven't edited these. These are just what I shot at the game tonight.
He was mid-action. It was great. It was just great.
So all of these. So this one here, this gets after he just hit a home run. He just hit the home run with that, went over but what I'm getting at is one, it's taken a bunch of pics. None of these are edited yet, but this is just going through and catching what you can catch, and you shoot a bunch. And some of these, the ball is in them. The screen's freezing. You can see the ball right there. And then, it's place, whatever you're looking at. It's like there's shadows, there's people, and there's action. You can see the ball right here between his legs. So there's probably a couple pics in here that I'm gonna like, but anyway, that's the kind of stuff I do and what I like doing. It's just always different. Any questions or answers or?
Nope.
And it's like we belong to the place. It's like we see what we see and we draw it out. Other people don't see what we see. And it's because we're drawn in.
Mhm.
All right, thank you. Am I the last one? Anybody else? All right. I'm going to be really fast. So lately, I'm going to just show like a mix of all the different things I've been doing. Um, this is the No Kings protest. And to be perfectly honest, I grabbed these at the last second because I was going to show something else and I chickened out. So this was super fun. I was hanging out with Terry Scussel, and we ended up landing on a great spot behind this guy. The biggest fear when you go to a protest is that people aren't going to be chanting or making great faces to photograph. And we scored because we found a guy that was a friend of Terry's that was leading the chants up on this bus depot, and we stayed there for quite a long time, probably a couple hours, and people just kept coming, and it was really fun. And so that was the first shot. I did a bunch of the musicians. I finally left the bus area, and I walked with this band. It was a blast. I kind of felt like I was in the parade. And my favorite part is this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, you don't want photos of people too happy at a protest, but I just loved this guy, so I included it. And the other thing I've been doing, I bought this beautiful orange dress from Poland and had it shipped here. And it's supposed to catch air. It's like a parachute. And of course, the one day we went to the beach, there was no wind whatsoever. So my husband was picking this up and throwing it in the air. And it made some really cool shapes to it. There's another one.
Very cool.
And then I'm just going to show a couple from a really cool shoot we did. William was there. We went to San Quentin and we were photographing a group that was bussed up to see their family. And I just thought this was so funny. I think she was cheating because she was holding these cards out of the game. I thought it was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And this was my favorite shot from the day. It was super sad when everybody had to leave. I think we were all crying. This was his mom. And I checked in with her afterwards. And turns out he's out and it was just so sad. Just I had a couple other photos, but I didn't have the permission to share them, so I chickened out. But one of the women hadn't seen her father in 30 years since she was a baby, and it was just really, really sad. Anyway, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Stephanie, can I try one more time?
Sure, go ahead, go for it.
Let me just see if I can find. I just kind of Googled it, and let me see if I just share my screen. Let me see if that works. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Nope, we can see your name, and that's all.
How about now? Can you see my screen?
No, I'm afraid not.
Oh, well. Thought I had it figured out. Oh, you know what? That's way I see. Can you see my screen now?
It's all black.
We can see you now.
You can see me now. Okay.
Flip it.
So now try
Uh,
sharing your screen again.
Flip the phone.
No, that won't do it.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go back. Oh, that's the problem I'm having.
There you go. Oh no, it's a person.
Oh, did she get knocked off?
She dropped out.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're good. It's
I think Virginia just disappeared.
you know, we went a little late, a little longer tonight. Does anyone have anything they want to share? Oh, before I forget, I want to say there's no meeting next month because we have our show. And I'll figure out what's happening next. I'm not sure yet.
Thank you, everybody, for putting in and doing the show.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Absolutely.
Terry's going to have his hands full. He's going to be the main hanger. I'm going to be his assistant, but he's the one that's going to feel the brunt of it.
That was fun.
Thank you, everybody, for all the great work you've shown.
Nicely done.
All right, you guys. Hopefully we'll see
Thanks,
you all
everybody.
at the reception. Do you all have the reception date? That's going to be
The 17th.
17th from 5:30 to 7:30, and I think it's going to be really fun. And we get to leave it up for what, a couple months?
Yeah.
August 28th.
And when do we bring our pictures in? July 2nd?
July 1st.
July 1st.
July 1st. Wait a minute. Really?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Tuesday.
In the morning?
All right.
In the morning.
At night.
Okay, I could do it at night. I'll just
At
leave it by the
night.
door.
They make it 10.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
At the reception.
Thank you.
Well,